Hello, and what I want to point out, one of the greatest features that the neural DSP Quad Cortex has is the ability to capture. And this is a capture that I did way back when I got this Quad Cortex. I had only had it maybe a week or two, and one of my students had purchased a Tone King Sky King boutique amp. Really a pristine amplifier. Went for some serious cash, and it would basically give you pretty much all the original, like blackface, really vintage tweed tones and stuff. And it was very, very incredible the amount of tones you could get out of that amplifier. So I asked my student, geez, would it be okay if I brought my Quad Cortex over and we captured it? And of course the curiosity was more anything. So we wanted to see how it was done. The Cortex really does a great job of guiding you through it. So when you go in and you press that you're going to do a capture, it actually guides you right on the screen, step by step, what connections you need to do in order to implement it. So before I went over his house, I had gone through just, what was I going to be needing for hookups, and I did. I made sure I had everything with me that was going to do it. We actually captured the amplifier right at the speaker, and I used I think at the time I was using I think I actually used two. I think I had a very close Shure 57, very close to the speaker, and then I had also just slightly back behind a really good compressor, large diaphragm compressor mic capturing some of what was happening in the air. The Quad Cortex, I'd never actually realized was going to capture all that anyways. So off we went. We went through all the procedures. I hit the capture now type button, and then boom, the whole thing sounded like all of a sudden the roof was lifted off of his house and aliens had abducted his amplifier, and the most wildest swoops and sweeps and crazy sounds came out of that thing, and I was worried myself. I was saying, oh my God, I'm going to blow this guy's amplifier up. Or at worst case, at least case, I'm probably going to have to get him some new speakers. But then all of a sudden the thing all of it's back, and so the aliens, after it was done in their flying saucer, they returned it to us, and they actually did a roof job on the guy's house, and we were left with, here is your reference, which was an actual just a bypass, and you could just hear the amplifier itself, or go back and re-look at the capture. So you had this back and forth thing that you could do. And the two of us are just staring at ourselves because we couldn't believe there was no difference. There was absolutely no difference from the reference, what his amp actually sounded like, to what we captured. So here was what we captured. So this is the Tone King, and I dialed it clean. Right? So that's what I caught. And I didn't realize until I was home that, okay, this is the capture right here, okay? So I didn't realize at first, I thought it was just taking a snapshot of the amplifier at that sound. But what the Quad Cortex actually does is it goes in, and all that swooping, swapey, crazy stuff that was going on, it was actually memorizing every single knob turn you could do on that amplifier and capturing that. So when I got home and I pulled this baby up, I'm like, oh my word, I've got gain. So I actually had captured the man's entire amplifier. And so that to me was like, whoa, I didn't know that was going to be. So then now you come to, here's the meat and potatoes of a Quad Cortex, okay? So I have this capture of an amp, but I also have all these neat little things that I can add upon that. And so like right here, I threw in a compressor. This one's a legendary 87. I actually right now have it defeated, okay? So let's turn it on. And what I did was I put it very lightly in the picture. I have it mixed down to only like 24%. So it's just barely there. But it's there enough so if I'm doing like a recording situation, then I have a really good tight control. Take that out of there. So you can hardly tell I'm doing anything there. Matter of fact, actually, I have this in stomp mode, so if I want to do that one, I have it right here on this switch. See, so I have that compressor just barely in the picture, but it's there. It's there if and I can tweak it to whatever I want anyways. I also have right here, this is a little overdrive that I threw on top. It's an Exotic Z Boost. I always loved the Exotic Z Boost because it has such a transparent sound to the amp. Right? So I'm still getting the tone aspects of the amp, but now I'm kind of dirtying it up a bit, right? And then I also put another one in, and this one is, I'm going for a little more crunch and stuff, and I'm using just a good old Tube Screamer Green 808. And I'm really overdriving on this one. Right? Matter of fact, you know what I like on this one is if I go to my neck pickup and I dial my tone all the way down, and then I also have this, which I do have the expression pedal. I got the Precision Engineering expression pedal that's made specifically for this device, but here it is. Here's basically just as nice as a filter. Right? So that sounds really nice and smooth. Right? So I like that kind of effect there too. So that's that and that. And then, like I said, oh, and I also have the looper pedal right here. So if I want to do a loop, I can just start doing some loop recording. So that's another nice little thing that's on there. And basically, I'm all I have to do is hit that and then just go, you know. So what I also did while I was at my student's house, I decided, well, okay, I captured it clean. Now let's capture it with a little crunch, right? Let me see, I'm sorry. I pulled the wrong thing off. This is that tone capture, that tone king, but I did it as a crunch this time, okay? And now we're going to kind of push the gain up and go with this. So this same amp, but now I'm really driving it, the amp, and captured it that way. Right? And you might notice that so far I'm completely dry. Okay? So I captured his amp with no reverb. And there was a reason for that. I says, well, you know, there's tons of reverbs in here, so why don't I just, you know, throw on a reverb in here? And so let's do this. This one's a lush plate. Right? So I actually have all that if I want. Let's throw on another. Right? So I actually threw the reverb in, so either if I can, you know, take it in or out, switch between any amps I want, you know, and things like that. So in this start mode, that's basically what I can do, is all these switches are just behaving on anything I need to do in here. I can also create scenes, so I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to probably take this preset and I'll make up a whole bunch of new scenes for it too. If I wanted to look at everything that's in there, this will tell me everything that's on each switch. So on switch A is my legendary compressor, here's my looper, my exotic Z boost adaptive gate. So there's all these ways of looking at what you're throwing in. You know, here's the bad horse, which is a wah. That's the wah pedal. Here's the tone king clean. Here's the tone king crunch. So it's a really great setup. And you know what? If I had just the amp alone, I wouldn't have all this to be able to do with it. You know? So I really think it's almost the better bang for the buck is to go with this. And it was just about the same price tag, too, as the amp itself. But what did I do? I went over and visited a friend, and I come home with his amp in my 4-pound box. His amp weighed a ton, you know, and then I think within the next week I had a Dumble in here. So you know, I have a $150,000 amplifier sitting in the box, and then it was the Klon Centrons and stuff started showing up, and all these exotic effects, because this thing will even capture effects just as well as it does capture amps. So there's a huge array of everything in here. It's you know, I'm walking around. If I bring this to a gig, if I didn't bring this and I brought everything that was in this box, I'd have to have a few 18-wheelers to haul the stuff in. So, I mean, I'd much rather haul this around. And also, while I was setting this up for this video, I was listening with my Focusrite studio headphones. and I was listening to what I was getting from here, and what you're hearing right now is I'm going through a Boss RC600 loop station, and then I was comparing and making sure that I was absolutely completely transparent to this. More transparent than our president right now is the Quad Cortex and the RC600. The RC600, even though it's a loop station, is in a phenomenal audio interface. Just absolutely great. I have my Boss GX100 over here, and when I'm out doing a gig, then the other two units that come in here is the Korg Chrome and the Korg Nautilus. And then that's it. You know, I can do anything I want. Or I can even just put my vocal mic in here too, you know, so it's pretty big. So anyways, I just wanted to share that to you and show you just how well it captured that Tone King. And how much, and you know, actually, okay, so let's go to the Tone King Crunch. So we'll take this guy off and we'll put this on, right? But let me jump in here and we'll take a look at that guy. Let's open it up. So like I said, if I want to drive the mids and the highs more, right? It's all there, just as if I had had that amp sitting right in front of me. Right? So everything is completely tweakable. And like I said, I never realized that until I got home and then actually opened up the captures. And that's when I seen, oh, I have every control on here. So that's the amazing thing. When they capture an amp, they capture every possible setting that amp could be at. So anyways, thank you. Thanks for watching. Hope you click the bell and come back. And if you really like what you're seeing, please subscribe. I'm trying to post stuff. If it ain't gear, then it's probably just some sort of, you know, music instructional tutorials or breakdowns of songs. A lot of cool things. So like I said, thanks for taking the time to stay this long. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.